This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
Brought to you by the North Law Firm. For car accidents and negligent security cases, call Joe at 239-337-1191. By Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers, where you can report crimes and get paid with nobody knowing your identity. Call 1-800-780-TIPS. By Solomon's Air Conditioning Incorporated. No matter what the weather condition is outside, have it your way inside. 239-693-1569. And by Lee Health.
Southwest Florida, you're looking live at a spectacle of huge proportion. We're here at the Lee County Black History Museum, one of the preeminent museums here in the southern part of the state of Florida. We encourage everybody to come out and visit. We're in the Williams Academy, which was the first school, the only school in the early 1900s that African Americans could attend before integration. So we're so thrilled to be here during Black History Month. We have a fabulous show in store for you here on the award-winning Lee Pitts Live. We'll get a chance to talk to Tracy McMillion, chief of the Fort Myers Fire Department, along with some other firefighters who will be joining us. Tim Jones, Lincoln Roberts, and Chastity Norman all will be a part of this show. And later on, we'll get a chance to talk to Michelle Happer, the new diversity director for Lee Health. All that's happening on Lee Pitts Live. Keep it locked. We'll be right back. Southwest Florida, welcome back to Lee Pitts Live. We're so thrilled to have him here in the studio as a sitting chief of the Fort Myers Fire Department, Tracy McMillion. Welcome to Lee Pitts Live, man.
Glad to be here again. Thank you.
It's good to get you here, and I'm going to do my level best to refer to you as chief, even though you're a man of the people, and I've known you so long, and I think that says a lot about you as a person. How's that going to be when you okay with everybody calling you Tracy still?
Yes, I am Tracy, and that's one of the things, regardless of what titles change or things happen, I am who I am. So someone calls me Tracy or affectionately T-Mac, it's all love. So it don't have to be called chief to
even around the fire department. You okay with that as well?
I'm okay with it. There are some policies. That we have out, but I am really okay with that. And that's part of the environment that we're trying to establish at our fire department. Is one of the things the city of Fort Myers, almost 130 years old, was established as a traditional family-oriented type of fire department. So there's no mistaking of who the fire chief is. So I don't need to be called chief to be the fire chief. So if you call me Tracy, you call me T-Mac, that gets back to some of that love that we have as an entity, and understand in the business world when we're out there doing work and in the professional settings and meetings, we might have to go by titles, but day to day in the stations, man, it's love. It's love, and we show that family back and forth.
Well, you give me an opportunity to get a joke in. As long as that on your check, they pay you like a chief.
That's really what I'm saying. That was the translation.
Like that joke?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tracy, now, I have a unique perspective in the sense that I've seen you come through before you were as decorated as you are. You were on my show back in the early 90s. I saw you get all these promotions over the years. You would come on my show constantly educating people as a paramedic, as a fireman, paramedic, all these different titles. I want our audience to kind of get an idea how you rose and how the different positions you held before you became a full chief.
Yeah, so my journey has just been really interesting. As we kind of shared, I've been with you and through the different ranks and different areas of my life and different aspects. So my path was different than others. Maybe not necessarily the traditional rise through the ranks or the positions within a fire service. So when I came into the city of Fort Myers in 1996. And I got hired on as a firefighter and went to EMT school, and then transitioned, became a firefighter paramedic, went to paramedic school, and just loved the job. And then I transitioned to McGregor Fire District, and then in that middle of that is where my love for passion for teaching and training came in. Mm-hmm. And as that actually took place, I was able to go to college, get some more schooling, some more education, and then doors opened up for me to actually start working at then Edison College, now is FSW, and then also Fort Myers Fire Academy. And that was just basically a catalyst for me to actually develop, because working those different entities, you came in contact with so many different people. And then there actually was a succession program that was run through that organization, I know McGregor Fire District, that I was able to get a part of. And being a part of that is actually able for me to actually develop, see what budgeting was, see what administration was. So a lot of folks, a lot of mentors sold into me, folks like yourself. And I'm always trying to find more and more mentors that I can just learn from and glean information and wisdom. So that transition, so opportunity for me opened up at my department to be a training captain. Took that opportunity. Then it transitioned to battalion chief of training, then division chief of training, and then my home here at the city of Fort Myers had an opportunity to be a deputy chief, and I was able to come over and do that. And then obviously this here is just amazing, just a blessing to be able to become the fire chief. Is just a great transition.
Yeah, they couldn't have picked a better person. Now, at what point during that lineage of your ascension did you start saying, maybe I can be a chief one day, or did that into your mind early on?
It didn't. So my goals were, like say, was company officer or be a training officer or something of that nature. That was the pinnacle of my career, man. If I could just be in training, if I could just do something like that, or be a company officer, or have my crew that we work with and things like that. That's where my goals. But sometimes your paths, sometimes there's more in you that needs to get brought out for the greater good. So even today, it's not something I say, I should have been the chief a long time. Mm-hmm. That's not what comes from me. Mm-hmm. I'm just so humbled and honored to have this title, and my goal is to do the best by it and do the best by the people I serve, meaning that of the people inside the department, the community we serve, and the city of Fort Myers. So,
even when you used to come on the show way back in the day, in the 90s, and throughout that process, you were always training people, always trying to encourage people to consider the firefighter, being a fireman as a career opportunity. Now you're in the position to open up opportunities for people for employment, and we're going to get a chance to talk to some of your fighters in the second part of the show. But tell me about that passion of recruiting people.
Yeah, so I think it all stems from that what's ingrained in me, that innate desire to train. So as a fire chief, it doesn't change. So each and every day that I come to work is a day to train someone, inspire someone, develop someone, encourage someone. So it just gives a bigger platform. And it also it gives an opportunity to set up different ways to actually reach and develop our organization to become even that much better. So one of the things we just recently did, the job position just closed, we did a little different take on a fire inspector position, something in the fire service that a lot of people don't even know is a job. And so what we did was we said, let's strip away all the educational requirements and put it out there, so this way we can possibly grow some people, get good people, stuff that you can't teach, stuff that you can't train, that good character, and then put them through school and teach them the city of Fort Myers way of fire inspecting, give different jobs. And we're able to go out and actually cast a net. We're able to actually bring on 4 people with diverse backgrounds that will be an asset to our organization and even an asset to our city. So those are different ways that we can think outside the box of how we can build our fire department, maybe differently than the way it's traditionally may have been done.
That sounds like you're making the opportunities to work for the fire department user friendly.
Yes, sir, and it's a collective. There's a group of us, and we always try to sit down and group think and have different ideas. And what you want in any organization is how the ideas to flow. And once those ideas flow, then you can actually come and set upon something that's going to be a good system, a good way for you guys to actually get growth and get enhancement. So that's what we've done, and a lot of people had ideas for this particular program, and we want to try and further this program in different aspects of the fire department.
And you have said it unapologetically that you want the fire department to be more community oriented, to get out into the community. Even to this day, I see them walking on foot a lot at community events. I bumped into Tim and different people walking downtown. I'm like, what are you guys doing walking around? They got on a T-shirt and they're just mingling and observing.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
It's our goal and mission. With anything that we do, there's 4 tenets that we're trying to do, and that's going to be promote, preserve, protect, and prevent. These are things that we want to try and do as a fire department. And all those aspects, if we get into our communities, if we get into our different areas, we go to art walk or music walk, or this weekend, coming up, there's going to be an MLK walk, and we are show a presence that we are your fire department. We're here to serve you. And that's what it is, it's customer service. So if you think about when you go to a restaurant, when that server comes by and fills your glass and does these things, he checks on you, hey, how you doing? That's what we're trying to do as a fire department. We want to have communication and interaction with you before an event.
Based on the way the fire department is set up right now, how quickly can a person expect a fire truck to get to them in case of a fire in the city of Fort Myers? What's the time?
So the golden standard is roughly about 5 to 6 minutes, and we have some areas, and we're doing some more introspective looks at our response matrix, how quickly we can get places, and we're getting data on that using some GIS maps and trying to make sure our station placements are where they need to be. But overall, in the city of Fort Myers, on an average, we can probably get there roughly about 6 minutes to pretty much all places as an average.
When you took over as the fire chief, how would you describe the morale at the City of Fort Myers Fire Department, and what's that morale like right now?
So when I took over as fire chief, I think the morale was coming. The City of Fort Myers, just like any other organization or company or business, was hit by recession, was hit hard. And you've heard communication in the different news about safer grants and different things that particular organization went through. And that was tough. And so we're on the tail end. When I came back to the organization, I believe coming over as fire chief timing was everything. We're in a right spot, a good spot. Morale was where it was. Hopefully, morale has actually, increased or enhanced. And we hope to even make it even better, because there's nothing better to be able to come to work. And as I say, and you've heard me say this years and years, being in the fire service is the best job out there. And that's just how I believe. That's my heart. I believe it's the best job out there. So when you come to work and the best job that you can possibly do, you should feel good. There's nothing like coming to work and smiling. There's nothing like coming to work and having an interaction and talk about life or talk about, the job that we're doing and then get back to work. And that's the type of, family that we talked about, that type of organizations that we like to be, where people feel warm, they feel good, or they can't even anticipate. How cool would it be when one of our staff is at home and they lay out their uniform, get it all laid out like the first day of school because they're so excited to go to work. And we want folks to really be engaged in our organization, because when you have that, I think it actually transmits and translates to when we have interactions with our community. If you're happy in the station, you're going to be happy outside the station.
Let's do Sesame Street this for me. To become a firefighter, do you have to be able to carry a person weighing a certain amount of pounds, a certain amount of feet, and certain amount of speed, a certain amount of strength, height, and all these types of things that we see in the movies? Yeah.
So when you look at what's required by the state of Florida, because as a Florida fire department, what's required? They have a test that they do, and a physical test as well as an academic test. But what really boils down to is we're tactical athletes. Just like a paid professional athletes, we truly are. Because when those tones drop and there's an emergency, you're expecting those individuals that arrive on that fire apparatus to be able to get off and physically, mentally, emotionally be able to do the job that's there. So what we try to do, going back to training, is teach our folks to be able to move different size people, different weights, and depending on your body style, that individual, that firefighter, there's a technique and a way to teach you. So we can't teach everybody all the same.
Gotcha.
My body size may not work, or my style doing may not work for someone with a different body style. So what we try to do is actually find out how can we teach you to do that. So one of the biggest things that we can't teach is that heart. So if someone has heart, desire, and a willingness to learn those techniques and the drive not to give up, man, we can work with you. So
now, as a chief, are you still? You would not be hands-on anymore. You have to train your mind, your thought process. Now you can't
Brother,
go.
it's a fight.
You
It's
can't
a fight.
go
It's
running
a
out.
fight.
I know,
Yeah, it's a fight.
That's what I know. I know you want to go running out there game buster,
yeah.
but you got to sit back now and just see the big picture. Has that been an adjustment for you already?
Yeah, it's a struggle, and it's a struggle because being out there in the community and doing the job. I'm still a firefighter at heart.
Right.
It's in my heart, and when the guys go out and train, I try to take all this off and put on my t-shirt and go train with them, and I long for that. And that's a great opportunity for me to still, feel, what's going on out there in the real world, as well as a good opportunity for the folks that I serve to see me out there sweating just like they're sweating. I think as a leader, it's important for me to show I'm willing to do what you're doing. If you're willing to get out here in 90-degree weather and sweat and work hard, guess what? I need to do the same thing. But for the day-to-day, we got great people that are running these calls. I trust them with all my heart. So to be able to say, hey, look, they got it, that's something I have learned to actually do, and just trust them.
And we're going to get some safety tips from your next group that's coming up. We have 3 of your fighters who are here. But before we do, one of the things over the years, you have not been bashful about diversity and inclusion and having a fire department that reflects our community. when we're looking at you now, of course, you're a history maker as the first African-American in that position here in the city of Fort Myers. What's your thoughts around implementing and recruiting a wide range of people?
Right. I think, in any organization, if we have diversity, it's going to actually make that organization better, as well as going to make the service that you provide better. Because there's different, upbringings, there's different lives, there's different, socioeconomic things that all come into this little, sphere of how we make decisions and how we actually provide our service model to our community. If we're linear or unifocal in how we actually, make these decisions, it's not going to be effective. Mm-hmm. So one of our goals, and it's been one of the long-standing goals, is trying to make our fire department more diverse, to have different genders, different races, different ideologies and things like that, to be able to come in and be able to serve, just like the military. Look at how diverse the military is, and they provide a great service to our country. And so one of the things, just as a fire service, we want that. City of Fort Myers Fire Department, we want that diversity. We want anybody, regardless of what box you're in, at some point in time to be able to see you reflected in our fire service. How cool is it when someone opens up the door and you see yourself coming off the fire truck? Mm-hmm. Someone who looks like you. Mm-hmm. And we find when we're trying to deliver that service model, that those individuals sometimes can have that quicker connection. Other staff can as well, but you can sometimes have that quicker connection when that person is like you to some degree.
Man, we're so fortunate to have you in the community, and of course, the television show will be here for you to continue to get that message out. And we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll talk to some real firefighters who actually do work now. So as the saying goes on this particular show, for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like my good friend, Chief, now Tracy McMillion, who are doing it. We'll be right back.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.
Hello, everybody. This is Lee Pitts, the host of the award-winning Lee Pitts Live here on Fox 4. We appreciate you watching our show here on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, clicking below. Let everybody else know that they can subscribe as well. Also, when we're on the air on Fox 4, you can also catch us streaming live at 8:30 a.m. in the morning on fox4now.com. Just click on live and you get us all types of ways at your convenience. That's Lee Pitts Live.